Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our continuing conversations with Dr. Suzanne Lie. I'm Mary Pericone, and we're always excited to be here with you again. In these conversations, creating your own reality, we have explored numerous areas, and today we'd like to unwrap, if I may use that term, unwrap something that the Arcturians said in our last conversation. And this is what they said. The universe is that to which you are a personal portal. Each and every one of you is an expression of the universe. You are not just one expression. You are a magnificent, multidimensional being that travels the universe through your consciousness, through your knowingness that you are one with all life. So in that context, Dr. Sue, let's continue to unwrap the multidimensional aspect that we encompass in creating our own reality. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you. Unwrapping how we create our multidimensional reality. Absolutely, that is really up for a deep examination right now as things are rocking and rolling, isn't it?
It is indeed.
So, let's just start with a little message from the Arcturians. I know that I created a very hectic morning this morning. And so, what I usually do when my ego self creates something that I'm not enjoying living is that I find a way and find a time, a moment to just sit down and reboot. Just like when Mary and I were moving around the house, finding a place where I would have privacy. I had to keep rebooting the Skype because we'd lose the signal. So I'm going to reboot my consciousness in a public manner and give you all a means through which you can reboot your consciousness, and you might need it yourselves depending on when you're listening. So I'm going to call in the Arcturians now. And I would like to share, Sue speaking here for a moment, a minute about rebooting and connecting with our higher expressions. Is that I find that breath is very important. For I have to breathe out that me that is limited to my third dimensional experience so that I can breathe in my multidimensional expressions. So if all of you would like to join me and my breath for a moment, I'm going to take 3 long, slow breaths, and I'm going to breathe out all the frustrations and chaos of my third dimensional world. And I'll count each breath. So 1, I just feel that release. Second breath. As you release that next layer, take a big in-breath so you can take a long exhale to go deep, deep and release those inner levels, those inner layers of third dimensional illusion. Very good. All right, now I'm going to breathe in my higher expression. I invite you all to do the same. And as I breathe out this time, instead of releasing, I integrate. And breathe in my higher expression again. And as I exhale, I integrate it. And the third time, breathing in my higher expression, exhaling to integrate. Greetings, our ones. We are the Arcturians here to speak with you and Mary this morning. And Mary, did you have something you would like to say?
Yes. One of the things I was contemplating about as we were preparing for today's get-together and conversation is how oftentimes in our creation, first, we don't realize that we are, in fact, creating our own reality, but also how important it is in our creation to let go of the outcome. Another way of saying that is to not be attached to the outcome. And what comes into play, if you will, in the creation process when we put out our intent, our desire, and our need, and how difficult it is not to try to control the outcome, but rather let it go into the flow and not be attached to it.
Yes, that is called living in surrender. And when you live in surrender, you know that you are on your divine path. And you also know when you have fallen into the illusions of time, when you have fallen into the stressors and the anxieties of life in an ever increasingly changing third-dimensional world. And when you discover that this has occurred, you instantly love yourself unconditionally and forgive yourself unconditionally and accept that you are in the process of living the chaos before great change. For great change is always preceded with chaos. And as you feel that chaos, you can surrender into the chaos. Remember, the way that you move through the third dimension is that you interact and manipulate your reality. On the other hand, the way that you live in a fifth dimensional manner is that you surrender into your reality. So we guide all of our listeners now to feel, think, remember that which has caused them chaos. Take a long, slow, deep breath as you surrender into the chaos. And as you surrender into the chaos, you can simply let go. And this is a important precursor to creating your own reality. For your own reality is created with a combination of your thoughts. Now remember, your thoughts are always emanating from your beautiful multidimensional consciousness, and you are always preceded by your thoughts. Whether you are aware of it or others are aware of it, your thoughts are tangible and can be experienced unconsciously by most, consciously by some, and superconsciously by everyone. So your thoughts are already creating your reality, whether you know that or not. Take a long breath to allow your thoughts to come into alignment with your galactic, celestial, spiritual self. As you breathe in to this expansion of your consciousness, so that you will move beyond the limitations of that third dimensional holographic projection. Mary, did you wish to say some things about our thoughts?
Yes, indeed. We know of the word and the concept of filtering in our lives, in our creations, in our responses, if you will, to every type of communication and interaction. And let's touch upon that for a moment, because the Arcturians mention that in the third dimension we interact and we manipulate our reality. Sometimes we do this without even being aware of the way in which we are filtering or interpreting who we are in the third dimension. We filter through our gender, we filter through our generation, we filter through our ethnicity, if you will. We also filter through our life experiences, those biases and those prejudices. And just being aware of that is so helpful in understanding our own reactions to our experience. But we also filter on other levels. We filter on our archetype. We filter on our preferences, our communication preferences. We filter through our astrology. We communicate differently if we're a Pisces or a Taurus or a Cancer or a Capricorn. We have to make allowances and have compassion and understanding for those differences, which really are our strengths, and that beautiful diversity of humanity. So that's one of the ways, or some of the ways I should say, that we in fact manipulate our reality. Now the Arcturians are saying surrender into the reality. And we have acceptance of ourselves through observing the situation, observing the behavior, and unconditionally loving ourselves through the process. Unconditional love of ourselves, of the process, of everyone we're working with, communicating with, is part of the surrender into that fifth dimensional unity consciousness. So just be aware and begin to understand, as the Arcturians have just said, that we are communicating on multiple dimensions. We are communicating and creating our reality on multiple dimensions, and our perception begins to shift from the third dimension into the fourth and into the fifth dimension.
Yes. And we, the Arcturians, would now like to speak a bit about that second component of creation, which is your emotions. And many times humanity is not aware of the great power that is held within their emotions. Now, the combination of thoughts and emotions are what set your state of consciousness. And it is very important to be aware that when you wish to intentionally create a component in your reality, that you expand yourself into the highest possible state of consciousness, because the creation will be at the frequency of your consciousness at the moment that you created it. So if you create something because you're angry or scared and in a low state of consciousness, you likely will not enjoy that creation. So we guide all of you now to feel how your thoughts are clear and pure and surrendered into the now of the One. And fill those thoughts with unconditional love. Unconditional love is the highest frequency of light. And we know that everyone who in some way or manner is able to get this information, we know that every one of you is on the path of ascension. And you want to create higher and higher experiences within your reality. So as you allow your thoughts to be unity-based, in other words, when you think I want, think we want. We, perhaps beginning all the elements within yourself and expanding maybe to your family and to your area and to your nation and into the entire planet. So you begin with unity consciousness and expand into a collective consciousness and then expand into a planetary consciousness. And as you take your thought of that which you wish to create in your reality, you enliven it, you bring it into life with the power of your emotion/consciousness. Now think a moment of one thought that we all want to create. We want to create our life on fifth dimensional new earth. So let's all hold that thought form of life on fifth dimensional earth and fill that thought form with unconditional love. And Mary, did you wish to comment on that process?
Yes, indeed. Earlier, we were talking about surrendering and not being attached to the outcome. But know that whatever the outcome is, that it is for the highest good. Some months ago, I was working on a work project with a partner, and we were expecting to do work on a contract. We were really interested in the topic of it. We felt that we could do a wonderful job. We were wonderfully enthusiastic. It was work that we felt was worth doing. But my partner and I did not get the contract. Another group did. And when we came together to discuss this, my partner said to me, I feel that we were too attached to the outcome that would have resulted in our getting the work. We should have released it out into the universe for the highest good, because the group that did get the contract, we knew was going to do a beautiful job. So we came together and we simply focused and gave thanks for this other group, that they were getting this contract and doing this work. And we knew that they would do a splendid job for everyone concerned. So it was a wonderful lesson in surrendering, in being in the flow, in participating in that unity consciousness, and then at the end, releasing it and wishing everyone well. So we went through the gamut of emotions, that was for sure. Excitement, enthusiasm, and then disappointment, and then coming to the realization that it really was a celebration, because it was what was important was the eventual outcome, not perhaps the outcome that we originally envisioned.
Yes. And I would like to, Sue speaking now, I would like to add a little bit about my life. And I am in the midst of a major flux and change. And I have been prepared for this by having different things occur in my life that I really did not choose to create. And I had to let go. I had to let go. And every time I let go, I found that it came back in a different yet better manner. And it's important that we realize is that failure is an illusion of our third dimensional world. And in fact, of the channel in my blog that I did yesterday, put up yesterday, the Arcturians said that failure only means that you are ready to move into new territory. And whenever we move into new territory, we must be willing to fail because we learn so much from those failures. And failure is just that we have gathered up enough courage to go into virgin territory where we are no longer an expert. We are now a beginner. And I know I'm 67 and I'm willing to be a beginner. I remember an important book I read by H.R. Suzuki, and he said it was all about beginner's mind, to always live in beginner's mind. Now, beginner's mind means that we can move into the unknown. And is that not our journey into fifth dimensional new earth? We are moving in to the unknown. And the state of our emotion and the choices of our thoughts is the way that we are creating our pathway. Mary, did you want to talk about that a little bit?
Wow. A beginner's mind, yes. I don't know what I don't know, but I'm willing to know. I'm willing for it to reveal itself to me. Throughout my life, I have had experiencing of one door closing and another opening, and I've come to discover that I have to allow that other door to open. If I'm going to go through a grieving process of any type with regards to what I would perceive as a loss, if I can see it as another opportunity and approach this change with the beginner's mind, it definitely flows more smoothly. When I would get to the other side of the experience, having gone through all the disappointment and the angst and probably the anger and even the blaming, on the other side of it was something I never would have envisioned. And so therefore, approaching it with a beginner's mind of acknowledging that I don't know what I don't know opens ourselves to receive the next gift that we in fact give ourselves. I used to think that, something wonderful dropped into my lap. But I have come to realize that I was open to receive this gift that I was ready to receive because I was giving it to myself.
Very good point. And I would like to take a moment and guide you all in a brief little 2-minute meditation about the doors opening and closing. So I'd like all of you that are reading and or hearing this to take a breath and look through your lives and see what is ready to leave you and what you are ready to release. Now, you may not have control over what is ready to leave you, and you do have control over what you are ready to release. But in either case, it is a door closing. So look into your life and what is that door that is closing? Take a long, slow, deep breath. Allow your higher guidance to assist you in finding that which is no longer of use in your life, and that which you are either ready to release and or somewhat resisting the releasing of. And as you allow your higher guidance to come in, see that door closing and send it love, just as if a person that you dearly loved and enjoyed visiting was leaving your home. You would give them a big hug, you'd take them to the door, you would walk them out, perhaps you'd step out on the porch and wave goodbye, and then you would come back into your house and you would close that door. And now, erase that image. Now we are going into a door that you are ready to open. Maybe you don't think you're ready. Maybe you're afraid you're not ready. Maybe you can't imagine what you might be ready for. So once again, call in your higher guidance. For your higher guidance is always there to inform you that which your ego is having difficulty discerning. So listening to your higher guidance, what is it that you are ready to allow into your life now? Now feel the love that you have for that which you're allowing to come into your life. And imagine now that you are walking over to that door and you are opening that door wide and you are welcoming it into your life. And as it steps across your threshold, you gave it a big hug and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And in fact, I will end this with this mantra, and Mary has a beautiful mantra too, with this mantra of, and I promise you, this mantra works. I have used it for decades. The mantra is, thanksgiving for the substance at hand will duplicate the substance indefinitely. With this mantra, that which you are thankful for what you already have puts you in a state of abundance. Within that state of abundance, you can believe that more of what you love can enter your life. Believing that you can create your reality is a vital component to creating your reality. So I will say this mantra one more time, then hand it over to Mary. Thanksgiving for the substance at hand will duplicate the substance indefinitely. And Mary, did you want to say your mantra?
Yes, actually, and it's, I think, a beautiful compliment. And this was a mantra that was given to us by Saint Germain. And it is to stand in the middle of the room with your arms open, with your hands open, and invoke your higher self, the I Am Presence, and say out loud, I am worthy. I am allowing. I am ready. I am receiving. And with that, Sue, I think we are out of time for today. Time flies when you're having fun. A wonderful conversation. Thank you. Thank the Arcturians.
Thank you, every one of you. And I want to remind you that you are worthy. You are creating your reality, and you deserve a beautiful life. Blessings be to all of you and to each and every one. Have a great day.
See you next time.
See you next
Bye-bye.
time. Bye.